All right, welcome to your chapter 4 notes. Okay, our memorabile dictu is auri sacra fames. Okay, and so if the translation is going to be a cursed hunger for gold. Okay, some of you are knowledgeable in chemical symbols. Auri, right here, this is gold. Okay, fames, you might have seen the English word famine. Okay, and so that would be hunger. Okay, so sacra right here, sometimes it means sacred duties, but now it means accursed here. Okay, so sometimes words, when combined with other words or when used with other words, it changes the definition a little. Okay, so what this is about, it is about the insatiable. Insatiable means you can't get enough. The insatiable hunger for money by man. Okay? In other words, greed. It's about greed. Okay? Now, the author who's going to write the story is different than the author who writes this Memorabile Dictu. Okay? So the Memorabile Dictu was written by a guy named Virgil. Okay? And this comes from his most famous work, the Aeneid. Okay? And if you're looking at the book there on or about page 57, it tells you 3.57. Okay? And so what that means is 3 is the book number. And these books are more like long chapters. It's not a true book. It is more like a long chapter. Okay? And then 57 here is the line number. Okay? So if you were to go and find a Latin copy of the Aeneid and look in book 3 and line 57, you should see this quote. Isn't that cool? All right. So we're going to talk about the dative case today. All right. And we know already that the dative case is for indirect objects. Okay. Now, you will see a noun in the dative case with specific types of verbs. Okay? So you're going to see it with, this is going to be just kind of a short list, so it's not exhaustive, it's not complete, but these types of verbs are definitely going to have a noun in the dative case. Okay? So you're going to see it with verbs of giving, like our new little verb do, showing, which I'm not sure if we have a verb about showing just yet, or telling. Okay, and that's narrow. We have had narrow. Okay, now, again, it's not a complete list, but it's good to remember this. Okay, so you're going to supply the helpers either 2 or 4. So, here we go. In my example, debes magnum praemium profugae dare. Okay, so right here, dare. Now I know it's our infinitive, but it does mean to give. Okay, so here's where I'm going to have an indirect object. Okay, so we know that debes is going to be you ought. Okay, we know that this is second singular. Okay, we know. We're smart. Okay, and we're going to need our infinitive now. You ought to what? You ought to give. Now, the indirect object is to whom you're giving it or to whom you're telling it, or to whom you're showing it. Okay? So am I giving a large reward, or am I giving a deserter? Not a dessert, a deserter. Okay? Right. I am giving a large reward. So you ought to give a large reward to the deserter. Okay? Probably not. Probably not a good idea. On our next example, we have das, which comes from do. Okay, and so this one is second singular as well. So we're going to say si, not si, I'm not going to write it in Latin. Da, okay. Si means if. So if, and again, das is second singular. If you give. Now, are you giving a reward, or are you giving me? Like, you would have to be physically giving me to someone else. And that's what's going on here. And hopefully you're saying no. Okay? So if you give a reward to me, ... Okay? All right, so we're going to look at these sentences here. Okay? If you look at these sentences, let's use the little highlighter feature here. There we go. If you look in all of these examples, I used do. Okay, so we're talking about giving, so we are going to need something in the dative case. Okay, so we want to put we're in the dative. Okay, and we're just going to make it singular. Okay, so I would be taking weary. I'm going to drop my I. Okay, so I have we're, and then this is second masculine, and so my second masculine dative singular ending is o, so I would have weiro. All right. Now, for my next one, we want to take profuga. Okay, and so we're going to need the genitive singular of this one, which will be profugai. We're going to drop the AE, and so my stem is profug. Okay, now we need the dative singular of the first declension, which is going to be AE. Okay, on C, we're going to take Pyrrhus. Okay, and so we need his genitive singular form. So we have Piri. We're going to drop that I. Okay. Okay, now he is second masculine as well. So we're actually going to use our O again. So we'll have Piedro. Okay. All right, and for the last one, notice that I made this one plural. So it's not about O's anymore, but we're going to take off the E on both of them. So our mat, and then we're, and we need to make it dative plural. And hopefully you remember, so far, all of our dative plurals are is. So we have our matis, viris. Okay? So, that's the dative case. We need to talk about adjectives now. Okay? And so adjectives describe, modify, specify nouns. Okay? Now, there are 3 ways they have to match their noun. Okay? They have to match in gender, masculine, feminine, or neuter. They have to match in case. Okay, so that would be nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, or ablative. Okay. Oh, you know what? It could be even vocative. Let's not leave it out. Poor little vocative gets left out a lot. So gender case, or number. And that is singular or plural. Okay? Now, let me just tell you, I didn't say declension anywhere in there. These adjectives, or any adjective for that matter, can describe a noun from any declension. And so this is the way that these will match in gender, case, and number. Okay? Now, you do have first and second declension adjectives. And the only reason they're called that is because they are using those endings. Okay? It's not because they can only be used to describe those type of nouns, but because they use first and second masculine and second neuter endings. So let's write that down. Use first, second masculine, second neuter endings. Okay? All right, so your book uses this little word right here. Okay, this is one of our new vocab words. Justus, justa, justum. Okay? Now, we've talked a little bit about adjectives before. Okay? Most adjectives, notice I said most, are going to have three forms when you look them up. Okay? Justus, justa, justum. Okay? You're going to see the masculine nominative singular as the first form that's given, the feminine nominative singular as the second form that is given, and the neuter nominative singular as the last form. Okay? Now, before we do anything else, and your feminine form is probably the most important. Okay? Because we're going to use the feminine form. So let's say this. Use the feminine form to get the stem. Okay? That's why it is important. We're going to be using that to get our stem. All right? So we're taking all three of these forms and we're going to move them right down here. Okay? So I'm going to have Justus, justa, and justum. Okay? So for the rest of these, okay, I'm going to take justa right here and I'm going to drop that A. Okay? So our stem becomes I-U-S-T. Okay? Now, I'm going to do like I did with our noun notes. So I'm going to take that A off. And I'm going to put my stem everywhere. Okay? And this way, this will help you see the endings. Okay? Now, it's not going to always be like that, but this should help here in the beginning that you can see the endings and where the stem ends and your ending begins. Okay? So, there we go. I just put my stem into all my places. Okay? Now, I'm going to go one step further here, and I'm going to do the masculine column, and then I'm going to do the feminine column, and then I'm going to do the neuter column. Okay? So, and let's make sure we know that this is a U right here, Justus. Okay? So, thinking back to second masculine. Okay? Your ending was us for nominative singular. The genitive singular changed to E. The dative singular changed to O. The accusative singular changed to and the ablative singular changed to O. Okay? So you had Justus, Justi, Justo, Justum, Justo. Okay? Let's go to the feminine noun. Okay, so again, we have just, okay, and thinking about first declension, our genitive singular was I. Our dative singular was also I. Our accusative singular is and our ablative singular is with a macron. Okay, and so now going to neuter, our genitive singular in the second neuter was E. Our dative singular was O. Our accusative singular is and our ablative singular is O. Okay? So, now we need to talk about the plurals. Okay? So again, I still have my stem, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do just like I did before. And I'm going to put my stem in everywhere so that I can't mess it up. Because yes, even someone like me, a Latin guru, not really, can mess things up sometimes. Okay? All right, so we need an ending for the masculines. Okay? So continuing on, the masculine nominative plural for second masculine was E. The genitive plural was aurum. Our dative plural is is. Our accusative plural is os. And our ablative plural is is. Okay? For the feminine, nominative plural would be I. Genitive plural would be aurum. Dative plural would be is. Accusative plural would be as. And ablative plural would be is. Okay? Just one more. Just one more. Okay? So for neuter, second neuter in the plural, we had aurum, is, and is. Okay? So those are our forms, and that is the end of our chapter 4 notes. Okay? Because I know you're used to it. Here's my email address. You should know that Doug helps me answer my questions sometimes. So if you get one that doesn't make sense, it's probably from Doug. Have a good day.